right now.
Which one, Afas or Belgium?
Afas is from Bahrain. Afas is from Bahrain. And this is Afas, Kohelan Afas Maidan himself now, for sure enjoying Podlaski pastures. You should see his, I don't want to say face, but his eyes when he saw grass and the pastures. He is now the most happy horse in the world. And he is very, very good as a performance riding horse. He was racing quite successfully. What I can say, his type is not maybe what we expect now from the show horses, but his stamina, correctness. He has a perfect legs, very good body, strong, with the nice lines, strong and straight shoulder. Well, the head is like it is, but it's a very, very good horse himself. So, after Second World War, the situation in Poland has changed completely. The private stopped to exist. All private property become just stopped to exist. We were 70 years under communism regime. So there was a new system of running the country, and the only farm which was established at this time was a government farms. When I started to work in 1995, there were 33 stud farms belonging to the government, including 4 Arabian ones. Right now we have 17 still, including 3 Arabian farms, pure Arabian farms, and also thoroughbred, warm blood, draft horses and ponies. So the first post-war years was the restoration period of Arabian horse breeding, and of course a hard work on the breeding program. The criteria was mostly the same: beauty, correct build, quality, stamina, and of course effective movement. What we kept for all these years is racing as an improvement of quality, as an improvement of, as I said, stamina and performance abilities. This is the main point of the Polish breeding program, to put together and combine beauty and stamina, which is very difficult right now because the breeding is more and more specialized, and those horses which are winning the shows right now, for sure if we put him on the racetrack, they are not going to win any races.
طبعا كلمة انه بعد الحرب العالمية الثانية النظام اللي كان موجود في بولندا كان الشيوعية، وكان المزارع الخاصة تقريبا اختفت يعني، وان الحكومة والدولة هي اللي كانت قائمة بمسألة تربية وإنتاج الخيول العربي. بالإضافة لأنه كان يعني الميزة اللي هي بتميز الخيل العربية البولندية إنه كانوا بيهتموا بحتة الجمال والقدرة على التحمل. طبعا ده بيمثل يعني إنه الجسم يكون بناؤه جيد والعظام قوية والعضلات قوية، والحركة طبعا كانت من الحاجات المهمة اللي بتميز الخيل البولندي.
What is most important for me is that we should remember that years ago, Arabian horse was a war horse. So whatever we say about the beauty, about the pretty heads, about the swan necks, about the dryness, and little muzzles, we should remember that he should stay as a horse we can put a saddle and run. Well, that was the main point of a Polish breeding program. How it looked with at the new reality. The first new stud established after the Second World War was Nowy Dwór, existing only 14 years. Then Albigowa. And those two studs has been closed in the early 60s. The horses from Janów Podlaski went to Germany, then some of them returned back, but they were located. Janów was completely destroyed at this time, Janów Podlaski, by the Russian army who came in 17th of September to 1939 to Janów Podlaski, and still everything, even the roofs, windows, everything. So they left nothing. Then during the 5 years of the war of occupation, the Germans rebuilt a little bit the breeding. Of course, they moved afterwards in 1945 the horses to Germany, and they were back in the early, in 46, but then the government decided to move them to Albigowa and Nowy Dwór. Afterwards, after liquidation of those two studs, the horses were moved to Janów Podlaski. But then in 1954, a new stud has been built, Michałów. And those three studs, Michałów, Janów, and Białka, the youngest one, established in 1981, exist up to now. The other one, fourth one, Kurosvenki, has been privatized in 1998. What we have now, yes, 3 state studs and a lot of private studs. Of course, we start with the races as well after the war. And the present time looks like the government owns 17 state studs, as I said, including the 3 Arabians, Janów Podlaski, Michałów, and Białka. But due to the political changes in Poland in 1989, we can see the intensive grow up of the private breeding and a big interest on the private breeders. Of course, the foundation material came mostly from the state studs. So we can see later, when I will be talking about the dam lines, that most of the broodmares, most of the dam lines which are existing in the private breeders stud farms came from the state stud. And to compare, in the end of 80s, the number of mares registered on the Polish stud book was about 300. Now it's more than 1,000. This is how it looks with the numbers. You should see, especially the differences between the number of the mares in the private hands, which was on the beginning very little, like nearly 60. Right now is 800. The number of mares which belongs to the state studs is mostly the same last 40 years. But the proportion completely changed.